Hola, ¿cómo están? ¿Bien? Pues espero que sí. Bienvenido a nuestro curso intensivo de español. Hello to everyone and welcome one more time to our intensive Spanish lesson class. So, by now, you should know how to conjugate the regular verbs in Spanish. So, regular verbs are all those verbs that will follow the same rules for all the verbs that will end in AR, ER, and IR. AR like verbs, for example, like amar, to love, when you say yo amo, tú amas, él ama, nosotros amamos y ellos aman. Or all the verbs that is ending in ER, like comer, to eat. So yo como, tú comes, él come, nosotros comemos, ellos comen. So all the verbs ending in ER, like vivir, yo vivo is to live. Él vive, ella vive, nosotros vivimos y ellos viven. So today we are going to add another class of verb that is very important, and that would be the reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are verbs that do an action directed to the subject that is, in this case, the person that is talking. So for example, when you say, I blame myself, I teach myself, or I teach oneself. So all these verbs that do an action directed to the pronoun or to the subject, which is you, for example, that you're doing something to yourself, that is what we call reflexive verbs. So in English, again, we have many other verbs, like we have hurt oneself, like don't hurt yourself, or we have enjoy yourself or oneself. So when you go to the party, I enjoy myself at the party. So when you are doing something to yourself, it's a verb that is doing something to yourself. So in Spanish, we have something similar as well. So most of the time are going to have some different rules and different situations, which are going to be a little bit different. For example, when you say in English, I wash my face, or I go into the washroom and I take a bath or something. So you don't use yourself. You say, I wash my face, or I wash something. But in Spanish, we are going to say, when you are doing something to yourself, we are going to use most of the time all these reflexive verbs. But there is a big list. The list is not really big. So there is just few verbs that you are going to use most of the time. And once that you know how to conjugate those verbs and how to use it, so then all the verbs that you will be able to identify that are reflexive verbs are going to follow the same rules. So remember, once that you know the rules for one verb, you will be able to use the verb for the same rule for all the other verbs. So let's go to jump in the computer and let me show you some of this verb and how to construct and to conjugate the reflexive verb. Don't forget to join our channel if you give a like, and also that will help YouTube maybe to recommend this video to other people, and leave your comment as well if you think that you can help me with some suggestion, or you have some idea how I can improve my my courses, how I explain the Spanish as well lesson. So if you have any comment, leave it and I would really appreciate it. So let's go to jump on the computer. Let's go to see how to use the reflexive verb in Spanish. All right, so we have here reflexive pronouns. So let's first take a look to the concept. So reflexive verb in Spanish are verbs where the subject performs the action on itself. That is what I was saying at the beginning. So an action that you are doing to yourself. So these verbs are commonly used to describe daily routine, emotion, and personal care activities. So we are going to talk about all the verbs. I'm going to give you a list of some of those verbs as well. So reflexive verbs are conjugated similar to like a regular verbs. So we are going to see how we construct and we conjugate the reflexive verbs. But they always include the reflexive pronoun that match the subject. So let's go first to take a look how we're going to build this. So the first thing is conjugating the reflexive verb. So that would be like the first part is identify the reflexive verb. So all the verbs are going to have the SE at the end. For example, here we have lavarse, which is to wash yourself. So you can see that there is se at the end of lavar. So lavarse so means that now is a reflexive verb. So then if we take a look, some example of lavarse, to wash yourself. So here we have the infinitive of the verb is lavarse, and you can see the se in white that is telling you that is a reflexive verb. So the second part, so, and again, I mean, is to wash yourself. But then if we remove the SE, so it's going to become only lavar. As you can see in yellow is lavar, and lavar is to wash. So it's like you're watching a clothes or something like that. So we are going to use the same when we are going to conjugate the verb. So if we are going to conjugate only lavar, we are not talking about lavarse yet. So we are going to go to only to talk about lavar, which is the regular verb to watch something. So we are going to conjugate in that way the same like we use for any verb ending in AR. So it's the regular verb. Remember that we was studying about how to conjugate the regular verb. In that case, you will say yo lavo, tú lavas, él, ella, usted lava, nosotros lavamos, vosotros laváis. So this is again, remember that we are not putting in our lesson, we are not using vosotros, but in this case I just put in the vosotros laváis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes lavan. So that is how you conjugate a regular verb that is ending in AR. So without using the reflexive verb. So then the second part is to see how you will use the reflexive verb. So for the first person of the singular, you use me, is myself, me, te, yourself, se, himself, herself, yourself, on forma themselves or yourself, and nos, ourselves. So that is when you're using lavar, and then you're going to use deepen the subject pronoun when you are going to use each one. You are going to use me, te, se, or nos. So for the first person, of course, for I, for yo, you are going to use me. For the second person, tú, which is you are going to use te. And then for the third person, la él, ella, usted, we are going to use se. Then nos, um, and for ours or for nosotros, and again say for themselves as well. So let's go to see how then we are going to where we are going to put this. So the second part again is to conjugate the verb, and also we are going to take a look in this number 4. Add the appropriate reflexive pronoun. Place the reflexive pronoun before the conjugated verb, before the verb, or and attach to the infinitive or to the gerund. Also, we are going to take a look to the gerund as well, because we was studying before how to use the gerund, like when you are saying yo estoy comiendo, I am eating. So the action of eating, ing. So we already we add that. So we are going to add as well when we are going to conjugate that, but using the reflexive as well. So here we have an example of lavarse. So that would be when we construct already everything. So you say yo me lavo. So if you take a look in the side, you say yo lavo, and now you say yo me lavo, I wash myself. Okay, instead to say yo lavo my pant, now you say yo me lavo la cara, my face. So or my body or my hands. Yo me lavo las manos, my hands. So tú te lavas. So that would be for the second person. Tú te lavas. If you are telling to someone, tú te lavas las manos. Él, ella, usted se lava. Okay. And then nosotros nos lavamos. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se lavan. So as you can see, se lavan for the third person of the plural. It's going to be the same like for the singular. So él, ella, usted se lava. ella, ustedes se lavan because it's now the conjugation. So that is how you are going to use with multiple verbs. So here we have one sample of multiple verb. For example, despertarse, to wake up. Yo me despierto. Levantarse, stand up or get up. Yo me levanto. So it's an action that you are doing to yourself. You stand up by yourself, right? You don't need nobody to help you to do it. So yo me levanto. Vestirse, yo me visto, is to dress yourself. I guess that you can dress yourself. I get dressed. So in English, that would be I get dressed, but I dress myself. It's a translation that I'm making, trying to make. You are dressing yourself. Ducharse, to take a shower. So I shower, but in Spanish, again, is something that you are doing to yourself, to taking a bath or a shower. Cepillarse, to brush, that is another verb. Yo me cepillo. Peinarse, to comb, is another reflexive verb. Is something that you are doing to yourself. I comb. In English, that would be, it's not reflexive, but in Spanish, yes. Yo me peino, o tú te peinas. Acostarse, to lie down, to go in bed. So here is to go in bed, go to sleep, but also when you lie down as well is acostarse. Yo me acuesto. Dormirse, to fall asleep or go to sleep. Yo me duermo. And here we have some example when you are going to use it as well. Despertarse. Yo me despierto a las 7 de la mañana. So I wake up at 7 in the morning. So I wake up myself. So you say, yo me despierto a las 7 de la mañana. Levantarse. Tú te levantas Tú te levantas tardes los fines de semana. You get up late on weekends. So, but this sense is like you are waking up, or te levantas from bed, right? So you wake up and you get out of bed on weekends. So you get out of the bed, te levantas. It's more mean like you get up from bed, right? Vestirse, ella se viste rápido. Se viste rápido. So it's get dressed quickly. So you dress yourself, right? Really fast. Ducharse, nosotros nos duchamos después de hacer ejercicio. So here we have with nosotros, nos duchamos. So ducharse is the verb ducharse. So then we have cepillarse. Ustedes se cepillan los dientes 3 veces al día. Ustedes se cepillan los dientes 3 veces al día. You all brush your teeth 3 times a day. Peinarse. Ellos se peinan antes de salir. Acostarse. Yo me acuesto a las 10 de la noche. I go in bed. I go to bed at 10 p.m. So acostarse is lie down as well. It's a verb that it means more like a lie down, go to sleep. So that is what mean go in bed more than that you go to yourself. You do something to yourself going to sleep. Dormirse is to fall asleep by yourself. So nobody is pushing you to sleep. So you fall asleep to yourself. So los niños se duermen rápidamente. So the children fall asleep quickly. So that will be some of the verbs. There is more verbs that will be reflective, but as long as you know how to identify a reflective verb, so then you will know how to conjugate. And the last part, and here we have another one, llamarse. So, for example, that would be another verb that is very, very common and really important when you are talking to somebody in Spanish. For example, you say, ¿Cómo te llamas? You see, ¿Cómo te llamas? So, te is for the second person, te llamas. And the verb is to conjugate to, ¿Cómo te llamas? And you say, yo me llamo Jorge Ofarri. So that would be my name. Yo me llamo, because the verb is llamarse. Yo me llamo. So my name is Jorge. So what is your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? And then you answer, yo me llamo, and you say your name. So that is the verb llamarse. How you that's why it's so important to learn all those verbs because that is the introduction when you are saying ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? And you say, my name is Jorge. Yo me llamo Jorge. Okay? So that will be the reflexive verb. So how to conjugate, but also I want to tell as well, so another part. So remember that we was using the verb to be when you're using the ing. So you use the subject pronoun, then you use the verb to be, and then the verb plus ing. So that would be I, the verb to be, and then a verb in plus ing. I am coming, so I am talking, something like that. So you say in Spanish, yo estoy. So remember that we are going to use the verb estar. Yo estoy. Then the verb comer, and then we put the ing, comiendo. If you are not clear in this class what how you contract that, that it was actually in one of the third or the fourth lesson how you make the ing. And you put all the verb with the ing. So yo estoy comiendo. And then we have, but that is not the point to teach the ing in this lesson. So it's just to say, so this is how we build the any verb will be with the ing. And then if we use bañarse for any verb that would be bañarse, so which is a reflexive verb, in that case you can recognize a reflexive verb because have the se at the la se at the end or se at the end. So that means is to take a bath yourself, right? Bañarse. So we already was talking about that. So bañarse is something that you are taking to yourself. So we are going to build the expression the same with the subject pronoun, which is yo. Then the reflexive verb, we are going to use the reflexive verb plus the verb and then the verb in ing. So let's go to take a look. So you say yo me estoy bañando. So again, also remember that all the verb ended in a r. So we end in ando. So bañando. Yo me estoy bañando. And remember the pronunciation with the ñ. So we did that in our first lesson of for the vowels of the pronunciation bañando. Yo me estoy bañando. I am taking a shower. So that will be how you add the ing to the reflexive verb as well. So so that would be our lesson today. Hopefully you will have an idea how to use the reflexive verb, using with the pronoun as well. And if you have any question, please leave your comment in the description, or leave the comment there in the video, and then I will be able to answer. So hopefully you will have an idea how to use it. Please again subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Hasta la vista. Espero que les haya gustado mucho esta clase. Hasta la vista. Chao.